Verse 3, but God came to Abimelech in a dream by night and said to him, behold, you are a dead man because of the woman whom you have taken, for she is a man's wife. You are a dead man. Well, he doesn't know. He didn't know it's somebody's wife. Still just taking women at will. I'm sure he didn't say, hey, do you mind if I marry your sister? And there's still a guilt there, but there's a very serious, but adultery is a serious sin. Because you're a dead man. I'm going to kill you. Wages of sin is death. Even when we don't maybe consciously know something, the wages of sin is death. It's ignorance. He doesn't know. Doesn't change the fact that his ignorance is not bliss. God is ready to kill him because he's ready to commit adultery with a prophet's wife. Verse 4, now Abimelech had not approached her, so he said, Lord, will you kill? And that's Adonai. Adonai, will you kill an innocent people? Did he not himself say to me, she is my sister? And she herself said, he is my brother. In the integrity of my heart and the innocence of my hands, I have done this. He's saying, Lord, I was ignorant. I didn't know any better. I didn't know that she was the wife. He's reasoning with the Lord. And this is all taking place during a dream. Then God said to him in the dream, yes, I know that you have done this in the integrity of your heart. And it was I who kept you from sinning against me. Therefore, I did not let you touch her. Now then, return this man's wife, for he is a prophet, so that he will pray for you and you shall live. But if you do not return her, know that you shall surely die, you and all who are yours. Now, Abraham's a prophet, but he's also the bearer of the Messiah. I think it's interesting. You turn to him and you'll live. You don't turn to him and you'll die. You turn to Christ and you'll live. You don't turn to him and you will die in your sins. You'll either turn to him or you'll turn away from him. You'll either lean on your own understanding or you'll trust in the gospel. If Abimelech at this point rejects the good news that there is grace in turning to this one on whom the Messiah will come, if he rejects it, he says, you're going to die. You're going to die in your sins. But if you return her, if you don't return her, you shall surely die, you and all who are yours. It's going to bring consequences upon you. People say sometimes, well, what about people that have never heard the gospel? What about people that live in foreign lands and they live off on a mountaintop somewhere? The answer may not please you. I don't find it to be a particular pleasing answer. I would love to hear that there's a second gospel, the gospel of ignorance, that if you're ignorant of truth, you're okay and God won't hold you accountable. But that's not true. In fact, Paul addresses this in Romans 10 and other places. The reality is God has given us all a conscience. And we've all sinned against the light of conscience. We've all sinned against light. If we were truly ignorant, it would be an excuse. There's no hell for rocks. They're truly ignorant. But man, we know in our heart, Romans 1, that there is a God. We know that there's a moral law because God has written it on the innermost of our being. We know right and wrong. He's hardwired us. Talking with some brothers the other night, there are people saying, well, I don't know if there's a God. Well, you do know there's a God. You're given a conscience. God has actually revealed it to your subconscious. Nobody will stand before God 100% surprised because God has revealed to all of us that there is a God. It's written on the innermost parts of our being, just like the geese know how to fly south for the winter. How do they know that? Well, they're hardwired with a knowledge of, they say maybe it's by the stars, but it's a knowledge. It's not that the mother goose tells the baby goose, here's how we navigate the stars. They're hardwired with the knowledge. They know when to fly south. They know how to fly south. Salmon know how to return to where they were born to spawn. And it's hardwired in them. It's coded into their being. In the same way, God has coded in us a knowledge of God and a knowledge of right and wrong, so that even Abimelech on some mountain somewhere knows right from wrong, and yet they choose to do wrong knowing it's wrong. And so the wrath of God is revealed from heaven against all ungodliness and unrighteousness of men who suppress the truth and unrighteousness. God is angry with mankind because we know there's good and evil and we choose to do evil anyway.